Many English learners are confused when it comes to the structure of the question when they're asking a question, as they're unsure of how to place the words in order. Today I'm going to make it easier for you. In English, all questions have the same pattern. Do you know that? Regardless of what tense you use. There are 4 parts in questions, except yes and no questions, where there's only 3 parts. What are the 4 parts? Here we go. Part 1, question words. What, when, where and why are just some. 2, the auxiliary verb, or sometimes known as the helping verb. So, is, have, do and does. Modal verbs are classified as auxiliary verbs. For example, can, will and should. 3, the subject. I, you, we, they, he and she. Sometimes it can be the student, the teacher, the boy, the man. Lastly, part 4, the main verb. For example, eat, play, jump and read are just a few examples. These have to be in this order. So, the question word, the auxiliary verb, the subject and the main verb. Example, what are you doing? Question word, auxiliary verb, subject and main verb. Another example, where do they live? So, where is the question word? Do is the auxiliary verb. They is the subject and live is the main verb. One more example, when has she finished? So remember, question word, auxiliary verb, subject and main verb. Just remember, you see that there's only the 4 parts in here. The question word, the auxiliary verb, the subject and the main verb, all in that order, don't forget. You know, yes and no questions only have 3 parts. The yes and no questions don't have question words. We just take the question word out of the previous pattern that we had. So, we only have the auxiliary verb, the subject and the main verb for yes and no questions. Some examples for you. Do you drink milk? Auxiliary verb, subject and main verb. Another example, have they done their work? Again, we have the auxiliary verb, the subject and the main verb. Did she go to the shop? Again, auxiliary verb, subject and main verb. See, all questions have the same pattern, but as you know, the yes and no questions just don't have the question word in the front. Now let's look at an exception, because as you know, this wouldn't be English if we didn't have some exceptions, because English is just that crazy language. This pattern doesn't work with the verb to be as the main verb. So, how do we do it? Use the verb to be as the main verb. Easy. We just move the verb to be in front of the subject. Or as an example, are you hungry? Is it exciting? So as you see, we only have one verb and then the subject. Remember to practice. Practice asking questions with these patterns, and the more you ask questions, the better your conversation is going to be and the more confident you're going to get. So that's it for now. So bye-bye.